not like a brand that I am married to. Hi guys, and welcome back. If you are new around here, my name is May, and even though we talk a lot about different handbag styles, brands, price points on this channel, I also like focusing a little bit on sharing with you guys some style inspiration as well as adding some travel vlogs, kind of like a full rounded lifestyle channel. So if that's something that interests you, I would love for you to consider joining this little growing family. Today's video is going to consist in regards to my little baby. It is my nugget. That is officially her name, and she is the Hermes Birkin size 25 gold on gold. She is in Epsom leather, and I think that's pretty much all of her characteristics. Now, before we get started, it is officially her 6-month birthday, so I am super excited in order to do this video to share with you guys my thoughts now that I have had her for a full 6 months. We're gonna dive into a little bit of what I'm carrying inside. I'm gonna share with you guys some mod shots because I do still get questions in regards to the top handle. I'm also gonna share with you guys the ways that I have decided to incorporate her and kind of use her and style her for my personal style. Also, how I have been liking adding an organizer to her, and of course I will be addressing the $1,000,000 question, and that is, would I go through the Hermes journey again? Do I recommend it? And ultimately, if she is worth it. All right, so as I said, this is my Birkin 25. It is in the color gold, which I feel like it is such a classic, timeless color. However, that can vary depending on you and your personal style. For me personally, the size 25 is the perfect size for my lifestyle. I was debating between the 25 and the 30 for many months before I officially decided to tell my SA that I wanted the size 25. Even she recommended that the way that I wanted to use the bag, which was both casually and dressy, the size 25 would be a better fit. However, putting all that aside, I do tend to gravitate towards her more while I'm dressing casually than taking her out to like a more dressed up event. I don't have a lot of dressed up events to begin with, but I'm saying even like dinners and things like that, I gravitate towards even a smaller bag for those occasions. However, I will share with you in a minute how you can style her to make her look even a little bit smaller than she already does. But yeah, I love using the 25 casually. I've worn her with tights, I've worn her with shorts, which is typically my style. I live in Miami, so I don't get to really dress up in like coats and things like that, even during the winter season, because that's pretty much non-existent down here. So I'm pretty much just wearing sandals, shorts, skirts, maybe dresses, and I love being able to add her as my finishing touch in those outfits. Let's get into what I am currently carrying in her, and ultimately I do want to add that I did end up adding an organizer. I shared with you guys in the first impressions video that I did feel like she was sagging a little bit without the organizer when I first started carrying my things inside. And overall, just when I store her, which I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section, by the way, I just store her with the organizer inside. I don't stuff her again. I don't close her up. I just pretty much leave her like this and put her on my display wall in the back. And that's the way that she's more or less been stored since I've had her. Really quick, I did want to address any wear or tear that I have seen, and so far so good, you guys. She is really holding up extremely well. I did kind of like baby her in the first few times. I was like, where am I gonna wear her? Don't take her there, don't use her here. And then I remembered, you work so hard to put money aside to buy this bag that you really wanted, and now you're not gonna use it, or now you're gonna like baby it. Don't do that. She doesn't deserve it. So I have been grabbing her and really just wearing her whenever I want to be honest. You know, I have taken her to the groceries. She sat in a groceries cart. Like, I am using this baby as she is meant to be used. So no wear, honestly. The corners are looking extremely well. There's no scuffing. Glazing, 10 out of 10. Stitching, like one of my favorite features of this bag, and it still looks so good. I do have to say that whenever I play around with the little sangles, or the arms as I like to call it, I feel like, I don't want to say flimsy because I feel like flimsy has like a negative connotation to it, but I do feel like they're so like soft and like so delicate. So that is something that I still like. Whenever I'm gonna move it, I'm very like, you know, particular about, and I'm very soft to the touch with it. But aside from that, everything else, she's a very like sturdy, kind of like grab me and do with me whatever you want kind of bag. So let's dive into the organizer. Now, I do want to say that the organizer that I went with is by DGAZ. They did reach out to me originally and offer me an organizer for my Picotin, which if you are new around here, consider subscribing because this is like the Hermes month. I'm gonna get into first impressions of my Evelyn, and I'm also going to do a 1-year review on my Picotin 18. So keep an eye out for those. But yes, they did reach out to me originally and offer me a organizer for my Picotin. And I knew I wanted one for that one because as I did research before adding that piece, a lot of people said that the Clemence leather was a very soft, supple leather that would definitely tend to lose its shape over time. And I don't want it to reach that point too quickly. So once I had that one and loved it so much, I knew that as soon as I added my Birkin, if I decided I wanted an organizer, I would go with the same brand. So I did end up buying this one with my own money. They did not gift me this one. And I ended up going with a very simple color, but very appropriate for the baby. And that is gold. So they have like the perfect matching color for this one. And you guys, I feel like the organizer has completely shifted my mindset as to adding these things into your handbags. I've always been a pouch kind of person, so I've always kept my things in pouches. However, there are certain things that you want to have kind of easy access to. And for example, this bag doesn't have a back pocket. It doesn't have any exterior pockets. So rather than having to pull out a pouch, opening the pouch, getting into the pouch, it's easy to have these little organizing kind of, you know, spaces in the organizer for you to put them there. So this video is not sponsored, by the way. I just wanted to share the one that I'm using and the one that I love. Now let's get into what I am carrying inside of the bag. And in that organizer, I just have my lip balm of choice at the moment, and that is the Rhode Peptide Lip Tint. I am loving these little things. I also have a small little hand cream. I do have a hand sanitizer on the side. And then as for pouches, I'm carrying 2 pouches. I do have my Toiletry 15. On the topic of pouches, let me know if any of you guys own the new Celine kind of like trio pouch set or cosmetic set that they released. I have been eyeing it because I kind of want to have an alternative to my toiletry pouch collection. I have all 3 sizes, and even though I'm more gravitated towards the brown option because I just feel it looks a lot more elegant, I really like the fact that the Celine also comes in like that really pretty white canvas option. So if you have those, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Next up, we have my sunglasses, and they are in a Key Australia sunglasses case just because it's soft and I feel like it fits better in the organizer. But the sunnies are from Amazon. I've mentioned that I love Amazon sunnies. They are very inexpensive and they're super stylish. They come out with like different styles all the time. Next up, of course, we can't go anywhere without wipes. And I have 2 packs just because they're both running low. So I kind of just have them here so they can finally like run out and I can throw one away and then keep the other. I did make a mistake. I thought I had 2 pouches. I actually just have one, which is the Toiletry 15. Since I did use the organizer and I had like a little slip pocket, I just added, you know, the things that I had in the other pouch in those slip pockets. For my wallet of choice, I am using none other than my Kelly Compact Pocket Wallet or something like that. The name is extremely long. Guys, I was talking to my husband the other day and I was actually telling him that I barely use my wallet now. I didn't want to be the Apple Pay girly because I wanted to be able to reach for my wallet and grab it, but it's so convenient just because I always have my phone in my hand that I just, you know, quickly Apple Pay and then I'm like, shoot, I forgot to bring out my wallet. So I think that I'm gonna be really thoughtful in regards to the wallets that I add into my collection moving forward. This is all that I'm carrying in my Birkin 25. It was actually the bag that I used this weekend. So I thought it would just be appropriate to share with you guys what it is that I had inside. Now the Birkin does have a front pocket and also a zippered pocket in the back. However, for me personally, what I did notice when I wasn't using the organizer is that if you did put anything in that front pocket, it kind of showed, or like it made a mark in the front of the handbag because the interior of the bag is a smooth leather interior. So then you also have the very soft Togo leather, and then whatever it is that you put inside, it being a phone or anything else, would pop out kind of here. So I felt like that was gonna leave an indentation in the leather long term. So I knew right away that that was gonna be a no, and I was not gonna be using that pocket. And what happens with the back pocket is that the way that I like using the bag, which is like this open, this flap here, which is technically, you know, like the front flap that the bag kind of uses in order for you to close it. There we go. That flap basically lands right on top of the zipper of the back pocket. So again, it was just a little bit kind of like inconvenient in the way of like getting into the zipper, kind of maneuvering your hand to move the flap, to open the zipper, put your things inside or remove them out. I love holding her, you know, kind of like on the top handle. However, there are times where I just want to be hands-free. So for me, it's very easy to literally grab the bag and slide it in the crook of my arm. I would say that if you are wearing maybe a coat, like a puffer jacket, even a blazer, you might have to maneuver it a little bit more, but she would still sit in the crook of your arm. She's not gonna go back all the way to your elbow. At least she doesn't on the size of my forearm. Maybe if you have a skinnier forearm, you can definitely push her all the way back. But this is what I want. This is what I'm comfortable with. I mean, it works perfectly fine that I can do this and still go about and, you know, do whatever it is that I need to do with my hands. It's also very comfortable for me to be able to open up the top handle a little bit and then get in and reach for whatever it is that I need in the handbag and close her back up and then wear her like so. As I said, for the most part, as you can see, I go ahead and use her like this. I just love the casual like style of the sides kind of cinching out. It pairs with my personal style very well like this. You could also bring in the sangles a little bit and kind of just put it on. I know that every piece of this bag has its name, but you guys, I'm sorry, I don't know every single name of every single piece. But you can go ahead and style her like that and kind of close up the bag a little bit. And then last but not least, what I did want to show you is another way that you can kind of close her up even more so she looks like a smaller bag, and I feel like she would be a little bit more appropriate, quote unquote. You can use her again however it is that you want, but I feel like in this way it would look a little bit more elegant if you are kind of transitioning her into a more like fancier night out sort of situation. Okay, so this is that other option, and basically what I did was I opted to fully close her. So I did cinch in the sides, as you can see here, and then I did wrap the sangles in the little Kelly lock here and kind of fully closed her. However, I didn't bring the flap around because I do want to have the option of getting in and out easily. So if I am using her for that type of event, I'm not gonna need to carry as many things as I would normally need to during the day. So I won't be using an organizer. And in order to close her, it is a lot more comfortable to do so without the organizer. But having the option of having the bag still open like this, being that this is a Togo leather and it's very soft, it still gives me the possibility to like sneak in here and take out whatever it is that I need. So kind of just wanted to give you guys another option if you wanted to style her like this. Personally, for me, I don't find it to be the most comfortable, but you do have the option to use it if you wanted to. She's so cute. I like, my heart still like smiles, feels so many like tingly little feelings, gets the butterflies every time that I see her. We got back from vacation and the first thing that I honestly did was come into this room, say hi to all of my babies, and gave her a little bit more of a special treatment, just because she honestly is a piece that I knew that I always, I'm lying. I didn't always know that I wanted this piece because I discovered Hermes and the brand and started diving into like learning more about the brand. I want to say maybe like 5 years ago, 5 to 6 years ago. As the handbag lover that I am, obviously, you know, I would come across other different brands, other different handbags, different styles, and I would dive deep into maybe like the fashion houses that I was already buying from. Example, Louis Vuitton, YSL, even Celine. And then little by little, obviously, just like as a collector, like let's say if you collect cars and you start off with, I don't know, a Nissan GTX, I don't know, it's like the fancy one or the nicer one of the Nissan. Then you kind of like, you're like, oh, this is a nice car. Then you hear about another car that you know, offers maybe that, but it's, you know, a little bit nicer or has this added perk to it. It's the same thing with handbags, you know, you kind of have like, oh, okay, your Louis Vuitton, which is now kind of seen as like the introduction to luxury, but Louis Vuitton has very expensive handbags too. So I feel like depending on your budget, it depends what, you know, kind of brand can be your introductory sort of handbag, you know, to your luxury handbag collection if you wanted to start one. But it kind of starts like that. You know, I started my handbag collection with, I think Coach was my first like big girl purchase, and then it was Michael Kors, you know, I had Kate Spade, then I finally was able to add Louis when we visited Paris, then later on Celine, YSL. So as I started learning more and more about like handbags, about the history, about how handbags are made, I, you know, kind of dove into the brand. For this portion, I kind of just wanted to sit with you and have like a heart to heart. I am not going to be a Hermes handbag collector. I don't see myself having, you know, 5, 10 Hermes bags just because, well, maybe 5, because but not like endless amount of Birkins and Kellys is what I'm trying to get at. I do have my Picotin, I have my Evelyn, now I have my Birkin. I will address the Kelly issue in a minute, but I don't see myself collecting Birkins, collecting Kellys, collecting Picotins, you know, things like that, because I have other priorities that I want to be able to achieve with my husband in the time frame of our life that we have together, and collecting handbags is not one of them, not to that extent, you know, because we all know that these are very expensive bags. And even though I chose to start my journey because I wanted to add one into my collection, it doesn't mean that from now moving forward all of my handbags are only going to be Hermes handbags. So with that being said, I do want to talk about the Hermes journey itself. I knew that I wanted to start the Hermes journey because I wanted to be able to add what a lot of people and what I myself also think to be like the top of the top in the luxury handbags sort of bags itself. I think, hopefully I'm expressing myself correctly, you guys, but not everybody agrees, and I'm totally okay with that. You know, not everybody sees the Birkin as the end-all be-all bag. I thought that with the history that this bag has, the way that it's made, the connection that you ultimately should make with your essay, the experience that you should have when visiting the boutique, for me, this is kind of like that top tier sort of brand and top tier sort of bag. So I wanted to be able to experience that as the handbag collector that I am, be able to walk into the boutique and have a specific person that knew me, that like when I would mention certain things to them, no, I know that that's not your style. I understand you. I see that you like this, and kind of really get to know me as a client, but also have a fun relationship while being able to do that. I will point out that I was not a fan of the Hermes game, of the Hermes journey. I still hear stories, and no lie, it kind of gets under my skin, and I'm like, ugh, like why do they have to make it be like that? However, with all that being said, after I did my, you know, Hermes process, and I waited and I was patient, and I kind of, you know, learned a little bit more about the brand, I get the reasons why they choose to do that. I don't agree with the way that a lot of essays go about it, like, you know, kind of telling you, no, we don't have anything, and then depending on how they vibe with you, then they'll be like, oh, wait, we do have something in the back. That I still don't love, and I still don't agree with, because why, you know? But I do agree, or I do understand the process that they have in place in order to be able to offer you a bag. They want to really like know that you are a loyal customer to the brand, in the sense that you appreciate what it is that the brand is offering. I hope I make sense, you guys, and I would love to hear all of your comments, all of your thoughts down below. I know this is a very like, either you're with it or either you're against it, so let's all be respectful of one another. I'm open to hearing both ends of the spectrum and both ends of your opinions, as long as we are all respectful in the comment section down below. But for me, it has just been so enjoyable. I also know that that's not the case for everybody, but since it has been for me, and I only speak from my experience, it has made me appreciate the brand even more, and it makes it even like more exciting for me to go into the boutique and make a purchase. With all that being said, I do want to say, and I have shared this before, there are things from Hermes that I don't like. There are things that I even tell my SA, I'm like, I would never, that's, you know, I don't like that color, I don't like that style, or, you know, it doesn't suit me, or I prefer this. And I mentioned to her other brands. She has worked for different fashion houses, so she kind of understands, but it's not like a brand that I am married to. I am extremely happy that I was able to embark in the Hermes journey, because it is not a inexpensive journey to go through. I'm sure you all know it's very different for everybody. I don't agree with the fact of people saying that you need to buy ready to wear in order to get offered the bag. You need to buy homeware in order to get offered the bag, and you need to buy jewelry in order to get offered the bag. I see why people say that. It is because those are the most expensive pieces from the fashion house. Those are the ones that will pay your SA the highest commission. So yes, if that is what's happening, then obviously you might get offered a bag sooner, because you have met the certain or whatever it is pre-spend that, you know, they kind of talk about that you should kind of meet. What that number is, I don't know. Maybe you can go in and spend $30,000 in one sitting and still your SA won't be able to offer you a bag. So, you know, I talk about it every time and I still laugh and I still smile, and kind of inside of me, I'm like, this is so silly. And it is, you guys, this is total first world problems. I mean, I don't like to get into anything, you know, too deep into this channel, because this is kind of like just a channel that I want you guys to come to hang out, to talk about, like, you know, things like this, to get our minds off of like the real issues that are happening. But it is also something that I think about, and I'm like, I get it. I totally get why people get frustrated and why people are like, you know, that's so silly. Why would I do that? I would love to go the pre-loved route. The pre-loved route was never going to be an option for me. I didn't want to spend 3 times the amount on a piece and it be a used piece, or even if it was a new piece. I wanted the experience. I knew that I was going to be able to find somebody that I was going to be able to get along with, and that they were going to make this experience so much enjoyable, or so enjoyable, yeah, that they were going to make this experience so enjoyable for me. And that is my main tip. Even as I was doing my like whole Hermes journey sort of like videos to share with you guys, something's here and it itches. I kept on repeating myself and saying, make sure that you connect with your SA, because it really makes everything a lot easier. So I know that I can get very chatty. I know that I can get a little bit all over the place, but I just kind of like sitting here sometimes and just talking with you guys, and then being able to interact with you guys in the comment section and seeing what your thoughts are. So is it worth it? $1 million question. For me, it was. Again, and I will repeat it, I am not going to be a Birkin and Kelly collector. You will not see 110 different handbags in different colors in this channel, in this collection, because as I said, I do have other priorities. But I am extremely happy that I was able to do what I needed to do in order to get an offer from the boutique. A brand new bag just for me. The color combination that I wanted. I did not budge in any time. I was not, hey, you know, it's taking too long. If you have a 30, I'm open to the 30. Or hey, it's taking too long. If you have a different color, I'm open to the different color. No, I knew that I wanted a classic color, size, style that I would be able to incorporate in my specific style and wardrobe. Even if it had a few changes here and there, I think that this is a very timeless sort of style that can go with me for many decades to come. It took me 9 months to get her, and every time I share the story with someone, they do say that it was super quick. I don't think you should see it as the time frame. I think that it's more seeing it as what you spent. At the beginning, when I was doing research, a lot of people were saying that you needed to spend a 1-to-1 ratio. That was not my case. It was more of a 2-to-1 ratio. I also talk about this in a video, which I'll leave the whole playlist link down below in case you guys, you know, just kind of want to deep dive on there. But I do also feel like that varies a lot depending on the style of the handbag that you want. So I knew that I wanted a very particular size and color combination, which even though a lot of handbag collectors might have, it is still kind of like that handbag combination that a lot of first-time Hermes buyers might want. So with all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. The Kelly is still in the works, quote unquote. I knew that once I added the Birkin, I was definitely gonna take it easy once, you know, going into the Kelly. I have visited my USA a couple of times. I've done some unboxings here with you guys. I actually added my Evelyn recently, which we'll get into that one once I address that one in a separate video. I'm gonna do a first impressions, as I said. But I do want the Kelly simply because I feel like these are going to be bags that are never going to go anywhere in my collection. So I do want to have like two perfectly timeless styles of handbags in my collection. Guys, thank you so much if you have made it to the end. If you have, leave me a cute little emoji in the bottom, because I know that some of you really like the chatty portions of the video. Some of you are just here for, what is the video about? Let me watch and let me get going. So I appreciate your support no matter what. I always appreciate you all being here. If you do have any questions in regards to anything else for this handbag, or just the Hermes journey, or just any tips that I can maybe provide that might be helpful for you, of course, let me know in the comment section down below. As always, I appreciate you guys spending some time with me and Nugget today, and I hope to catch you all in my next one. Bye everyone.